They thought they could move in the shadows and stay untouchable. But their fall is already in motion. The ones rooting against you have no idea who they picked a fight with or what God is about to expose. They never expected this. Before you scroll, before you shrug and say, "This isn't for me," pause. Because there are people around you right now who have been working against you with quiet precision, smiling to your face, plotting behind your back, convinced they'll never be held accountable. They're mistaken. And in the next 7 to 14 days, they're going to learn just how mistaken they are. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is going to settle something deep in your spirit, not with rage, not with revenge, but with that calm certainty that comes when you know God sees it all. And what God sees, God deals with. And when God deals with something, it gets handled completely. Hear this clearly: your enemies made one fatal miscalculation. They misread you. They looked at your silence and called it weakness. They looked at your kindness and called it foolishness. They looked at your peace and assumed you were unaware. They assumed that because you didn't react, you didn't know. They assumed that because you didn't strike back, you didn't feel it. But you did. You noticed what they were doing. You caught what they were saying. You recognized the pattern. You felt the shift the moment they turned on you. You saw the betrayal, the sabotage, the lies, the manipulation. You saw all of it. And you chose not to chase it, not because you couldn't, but because you decided to keep your hands clean and your eyes on your assignment while God handled the battle. That restraint, that discipline, that was the part they didn't understand. They called it weakness, but it was wisdom. It was strategy. It was you trusting a process bigger than your need to prove a point in the moment. And now that process is reaching its finish line. The tables are about to turn in a way that leaves them shocked, speechless, because they thought they had time, they thought they were safe, they thought you would never rise. There are 3 kinds of opposition that have been pressing against you, 3 distinct types of enemies working in different ways. And you're about to recognize every single one. And when I describe them, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. Your spirit is going to confirm it. Don't second-guess it. Trust what you feel. Enemy type 1. The jealous competitor. This is someone who saw what you have and wanted it, not because they genuinely desire those things for themselves, but because they can't stand that you have them and they don't. They've been watching you, studying you, comparing themselves to you, and every win you get feels like a personal attack to them. Let me get specific about who this is. This person knows your business. They follow your life closely. They ask questions that seem casual, but are actually reconnaissance. They want to know what you're doing, where you're going, who you're connecting with, not because they care about you, but because they're measuring themselves against you constantly. They're not happy for you. They never were. Every congratulations came with a silent but. Every compliment came with a hidden jab. You'd share good news and watch their face. The smile didn't quite reach their eyes. The enthusiasm felt forced. The energy shifted. You felt them pull back. You felt the jealousy even when they were smiling in your face. And here's how you know this is them. When something good happens to you, they go quiet. They don't celebrate. They don't engage. They disappear for a while. And when they come back, they've either found something to criticize about your blessing, or they've positioned themselves as having something better. They can't just be happy for you. Your joy threatens their ego, and they've been working against you in ways you might not have fully realized. Let me tell you exactly what they've been doing. They've been downplaying your accomplishments to others. When someone mentions your name positively, they change the subject or add a but. When someone asks about you, they give you faint praise while highlighting your flaws. They've been planting seeds of doubt about your character. Subtle things. Oh, I hope they know what they're doing. I'm a little worried about them making that choice. Have you noticed anything off about them lately? Nothing direct? Nothing you could call them out on, just enough to make people wonder. They've been spreading rumors that make people question you without outright lying. They share things you told them in confidence, but frame them in a way that makes you look bad. They twist your words. They misrepresent your intentions. They make you sound arrogant when you were being confident, unstable when you were being honest, difficult when you were setting boundaries. They've been blocking opportunities that should have come to you. If they're in a position to recommend someone, they recommend someone else. If they hear about an opportunity perfect for you, they keep it to themselves. If someone asks them about you professionally, they damn you with faint praise. She's good, but he's talented, but they're capable. But they've been taking credit for things you did. Your ideas presented as theirs. Your work claimed as collaborative when you did it alone. Your innovations adopted without acknowledgement, and when confronted, they gaslight you. I don't remember it that way. I thought we both contributed. You're being too sensitive, and they've been positioning themselves as the better option while quietly undermining you. They copy your style and claim they did it first. They mimic your approach and call it their own authentic expression. They study what makes you successful and replicate it while pretending you're not even on their radar. They thought they were slick. They thought their jealousy was hidden. They thought their sabotage was untraceable. They thought because you didn't call them out, you didn't notice. They thought because you stayed kind, you were naive. They thought because you kept winning despite their interference didn't matter. But God sees in secret. And what God sees in secret, He rewards or judges in public. And judgment is coming for them. Not from you, from the universe itself, from karma, from divine justice, from the natural consequences of coming against someone God is protecting. Here's what's about to happen to them. And this is specific. This is prophetic. This is what's coming in the next 7 to 30 days. Every door they try to close on you, it's about to slam in their face. That opportunity they sabotaged for you, they're going to lose their own version of it. That connection they blocked you from that connection is going to turn on them. That success they tried to prevent you from having, they're going to watch it slip through their fingers. Every opportunity they tried to steal from you, it's about to be ripped from their hands, and not quietly, publicly. In a way that makes it clear they didn't earn it. In a way that exposes they were never qualified for it. In a way that humiliates them the same way they tried to humiliate you. Every lie they told about you, it's about to be exposed. Someone who heard what they said is about to repeat it in front of someone who knows the truth. Or they're going to contradict themselves. Or evidence is going to surface that proves they lied and their credibility destroyed. Once people catch you in one lie, they question everything you've ever said. Here's what else is coming. People are going to start seeing them clearly. The mask is going to slip. They're going to show their jealousy in public. They're going to say something bitter they can't take back. They're going to do something petty everyone notices. And people are going to step back and think, oh wow, they're actually really jealous and insecure. And once that reputation forms, it sticks. Once people see you as jealous, everything you do gets filtered through that lens. Your criticism sounds like hating. Your observations sound like envy. Your success sounds like overcompensation. You become known as that person who's jealous of so-and-so. And that's a reputation that destroys influence. They thought they were building themselves up by tearing you down. But they were actually digging their own grave. Because the universe doesn't reward sabotage, it rewards integrity. And once you violate someone who's operating in integrity, you invoke consequences you can't escape. And the wildest part, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to expose them. God's about to do it. You don't have to defend yourself. The truth is about to defend you. You don't have to fight back. Justice is about to fight for you in the next 14 days. Watch what happens to them. Write this down. Document the date you're reading this, because what I'm about to tell you is going to happen, and you're going to remember this moment. Watch how their plans fall apart. That thing they were working on, it's going to collapse. That strategy they thought was brilliant, it's going to backfire. That move they thought was clever, it's going to blow up in their face. Watch how their reputation starts to crumble. People are going to start talking. Comparing notes, realizing this person has a pattern, recognizing they've done this before to other people. And the whisper network is going to turn on them. Watch how the very thing they were jealous of you for starts slipping away from them. If they were jealous of your relationship, theirs is about to struggle. If they were jealous of your career success, theirs is about to plateau or decline. If they were jealous of your peace, theirs is about to be shattered. What you have that they wanted, they're going to lose their version of it, or never get it. And when it happens, don't gloat. Don't celebrate their downfall. Don't send screenshots to mutual friends. Don't post subliminal messages. Just recognize that this is what happens when you come against someone God is protecting. This is what happens when you try to dim someone's light. This is what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. Is this your enemy? Do you feel that confirmation rising in your chest? Do you know exactly who I'm talking about? Then keep listening, because what comes next is going to blow your mind. Enemy type 2, the fake friend betrayer. This one cuts deeper because you trusted them. You let them in. You shared things with them. You supported them. You celebrated them. You showed up for them. And they betrayed you. Not with honesty, not with confrontation, but with sneakiness, with two faces, with secret sabotage disguised as friendship. They smiled in your face while stabbing you in the back. They acted like they cared while secretly hoping you'd fail. They pretended to support you while undermining you behind the scenes. They listened to your struggles not to help you, but to use the information against you later. They watched you be vulnerable and saw it as weakness they could exploit. And here's the thing about this type of enemy. They're still in your life, still acting like your friend, still pretending everything is fine because they think you don't know. They think their betrayal is hidden. They think they're getting away with it. They're texting you like normal, liking your posts, showing up to events, all while working against you in ways you weren't supposed to find out about. But you did find out, or you sensed it, or you started noticing patterns. Things not adding up, energy feeling off, loyalty feeling conditional. And you've been watching quietly, collecting data, seeing the truth, while they think they're still fooling you. Here's what they don't know. God has been showing you who they really are. Piece by piece, situation by situation. He's been peeling back the mask so you can see their true face, not to hurt you, but to protect you. Because the deeper you would have gone with this person, the worse the eventual betrayal would have been. So he's exposing them now, while you still have time to cut them off before they can do real damage. And they're about to expose themselves in a way that leaves no doubt. They're about to slip up, make a mistake, reveal themselves in a public or undeniable way. And when it happens, you're not going to be shocked, you're going to be confirmed. Everything you suspected validated. Everything you sensed proven true. Here's what's about to happen to them. The very thing they were secretly hoping would happen to you is going to happen to them instead. The downfall they were quietly wishing on you coming for them. The struggle they were hoping you'd face heading their way. The embarrassment they wanted you to experience about to be theirs. And everyone who they convinced that they were a good person about to see who they really are. Their mask is about to fall off in public. Their true character is about to be revealed, and all those people they were performing for going to see them clearly for the first time. And here's the part that's going to restore your faith in justice. The people they turned against you, they're going to come back and apologize. They're going to realize they were lied to. They're going to see that you were telling the truth all along. And this fake friend, they're going to be left alone, exposed with a destroyed reputation, and no one to blame but themselves. Is this your enemy? Do you feel that confirmation deep in your gut? Then you need to hear what's coming next, because it's about to set you free. Enemy type 3, the controlling manipulator. This person didn't just want to compete with you or betray you. They wanted to control you, to manipulate you, to keep you small, so they could feel big. They wanted you dependent on them, doubting yourself, questioning your decisions, always looking to them for validation or permission. They might be a family member, a romantic partner, a boss, a mentor, someone with positional power over you who's been using that power to keep you in a box. Someone who disguised their control as care, their manipulation as guidance, their abuse as concern. They told you they were looking out for you while actually looking out for themselves. They told you they wanted what's best for you while actually wanting what's best for them. They made you feel like you needed them, like you couldn't make it without them, like leaving them would be a mistake. And any time you showed signs of independence, of growth, of becoming your own person, they punished you for it, subtly or overtly. With guilt trips, with anger, with withdrawal of affection, with sabotage of your confidence. They needed you small to feel secure, and they've been working overtime to keep you there. But something shifted in you recently. You started waking up, started seeing the patterns, started recognizing the manipulation, started feeling the weight of their control. And you started pulling back, setting boundaries, making decisions without their input, and they felt it, and they didn't like it. So they doubled down, got more controlling, more manipulative, more desperate to pull you back in, because they know you're slipping away. They know their grip is loosening. They know their power over you is ending, and they're scrambling. Here's what they don't know. God has been preparing you for this moment, strengthening you, opening your eyes, building your confidence, showing you who you are without them proving to you that you don't need their validation, that you can make your own decisions, that you're capable of standing on your own. And He's about to remove them from your life, or remove you from their reach, or remove their power over you so completely that even if they're still around, they can't touch you anymore. Here's what's about to happen to them. Every manipulation tactic they've used is going to stop working. You're going to see through every guilt trip, every mind game, every attempt to make you doubt yourself. You're going to see it, clearly call it out, and refuse to engage. And when their usual tactics stop working, they're going to panic. And that panic, it's going to make them expose themselves even more. They're going to overplay their hand, say too much, do too much, reveal their true nature in a way that everyone can see. And the reputation. They've built the image, they've carefully curated, it's going to crumble. People are going to start seeing them the way you've seen them, controlling, manipulative, toxic. And they're going to lose influence, lose respect, lose the ability to control anyone anymore. Because once people see a manipulator clearly, they can never unsee it. And you're about to experience a freedom you haven't felt in years, maybe ever. The weight of their control is about to lift. The cloud of their influence is about to clear. And you're going to step into a version of yourself that's so empowered, so confident, so free, that you won't even recognize who you used to be under their thumb. Is this your enemy? Do you feel that deep knowing? Then what comes next is going to give you the strength you need to walk away completely. Now here's what you need to understand about all three of these enemy types. They all made the same fundamental mistake. They forgot who you belong to. They forgot who covers you. They forgot who fights for you. They looked at you and saw a target. But God looks at you and sees His beloved. And anyone who comes against His beloved doesn't win ever. Your enemies thought they were untouchable. They thought they could do what they did and face no consequences. They thought they were smarter than karma, slicker than God, faster than justice. They were wrong on all counts. And what's about to happen isn't about you getting revenge. It's about God restoring order. It's about the universe correcting an imbalance. It's about consequences finally catching people who thought they'd escaped them. So here's what you do while you wait for their downfall. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't plot. Don't scheme. Don't try to expose them yourself. Don't send subliminal messages on social media. Don't talk about them to mutual friends. Don't give them any energy at all. Focus on your life, your growth, your healing, your next level. Let God handle them while you handle your elevation. Because when you're focused on rising, you don't have time to watch people fall. You'll hear about it later. You'll see the evidence eventually, but you don't need to be involved in their destruction. Your job is to protect your peace. Guard your energy. Stay in your lane. Keep building. Keep growing. Keep becoming. And let the universe do what it does best, balance the scales. But let me tell you what else you need to do while you're waiting. Prepare for restoration, because it's not enough that your enemies go down. You need to be ready to go up. You need to be ready to receive everything they tried to block. You need to be ready to step into spaces they tried to keep you out of. Here's what restoration looks like. Every relationship they damaged, God is sending people who will restore your faith in connection. Every opportunity they blocked, God is opening doors they never knew existed. Every reputation they tried to destroy, God is about to establish you in rooms where their opinion doesn't even matter. And it's going to happen faster than you think. Not in years. In months, sometimes in weeks. Because when God decides it's time to restore, He moves with speed that makes up for lost time. What the enemy stole in seasons, God returns in moments. What took years to break, God rebuilds in days. So start getting ready now. Start clearing space in your life for new people. Start preparing yourself mentally for new opportunities. Start believing you deserve the level you're about to step into. Because if you're not ready to receive, you'll self-sabotage when it arrives. If you don't believe you're worthy, you'll reject the blessing when it shows up. Here's what I'm prophetically seeing for you in the next 90 days. New connections. People who align with your purpose. People who see your value without you having to prove it. People who celebrate you without jealousy. People who support you without agenda. And these people, they're going to feel different. Safe, genuine, aligned. And you're going to wonder why you ever tolerated anything less. New opportunities, things you've been working toward, things you've been praying for, things you almost gave up on. They're about to manifest. Not because you forced them, but because your season of favor is here. And when it's your season, things that used to require struggle start flowing with ease. New levels of peace. The anxiety you've been carrying about to lift. The hypervigilance you developed from being betrayed, about to come. The walls you built to protect yourself, about to come down. Because you'll finally be surrounded by people you can trust. You're about to feel safe in a way you haven't felt safe in years. New confidence. You're about to see yourself the way God sees you. Valuable, powerful, worthy, chosen. And that new lens is going to change everything. How you show up, how you negotiate, how you set boundaries, how you choose relationships, how you pursue purpose. Everything shifts when you finally see your worth. And when all of this starts happening, when you start receiving the restoration, you're going to look back at your enemies and realize something profound. They didn't ruin you. They refined you. They didn't break you. They built you. They didn't end you. They elevated you. Because every attack made you stronger. Every betrayal made you wiser. Every setback positioned you for comeback. And you're going to thank God for protecting you from their plans. Because if their plans had worked, you'd be stuck in spaces you've outgrown with people who don't deserve you doing things beneath your calling. Their sabotage actually saved you from settling. Their rejection actually pushed you toward your destiny. What they meant for evil, God used for good. So when their downfall comes, and it will come, don't celebrate publicly. Don't say, "I told you so." Don't rub it in. Just let it be. Let the lesson land where it needs to land. Let the consequences teach what they need to teach. And you keep it moving because you have bigger things to focus on than people who are getting exactly what they earned. Instead, celebrate privately. Celebrate with God. Thank Him for protection. Thank Him for vindication. Thank Him for fighting battles you didn't even know were happening. Thank Him for closing doors that would have led you wrong. Thank Him for exposing people before they could do deeper damage. Thank Him for loving you enough to defend you. And then refocus. Refocus on purpose. Refocus on growth. Refocus on the people who stayed, the opportunities that are coming, the version of yourself you're becoming. Because that's where your energy belongs. Not in the past with people who betrayed you, but in the future with the blessings that are waiting for you. Your enemies thought they were untouchable, but they're going down. And your haters have no idea who they're dealing with. They're dealing with someone God has His hand on, someone destiny is protecting, someone the universe refuses to let fail. And that's a fight they can't win. They never could. They just didn't know it yet, but they're about to find out. And when they do, it's going to be undeniable, unmistakable, unforgettable. So lift your head, square your shoulders. Walk in the confidence that comes from knowing you're protected, you're covered, you're chosen. And anyone who comes against that loses every single time. Your enemies are going down not because you're taking them down, but because they took themselves down and the moment they decided to come for you. And justice, she's never late. She's right on time, and her timing is perfect. Watch what God does. Watch how it unfolds. Watch how perfectly it all comes together. And when it does, remember this moment. Remember that you were told. Remember that you were warned it was coming. And remember that when God fights for you, you don't have to lift a finger. Your enemies thought they were untouchable. They were wrong. And they're about to find out just how wrong they were. And here's the final truth you need to carry with you. Your enemies going down is not just about justice. It's about clearing the path. It's about removing obstacles. It's about eliminating distractions so you can focus completely on your purpose without looking over your shoulder. Because here's what your enemies never understood. They were never meant to be part of your story long term. They were temporary characters, plot devices, obstacles placed there to make you stronger, wiser, more discerning. They served their purpose. They taught you what you needed to learn. And now their chapter is closing. And when it closes, when they're gone, when they're exposed, when they're no longer a factor, you're going to feel something unexpected. Not just relief, not just vindication, but lightness, freedom, space, energy you didn't realize you were spending on managing their presence, protecting yourself from their attacks, processing their betrayal. All of that energy gets released, and you get to redirect it toward building the life they tried to prevent you from having, toward pursuing the purpose. They tried to distract you from toward becoming the version of yourself they tried to keep you from being. So let them fall. Let justice happen. Let consequences land. And you keep rising, keep building, keep becoming. Because that's the real victory, not that they went down, but that you kept going up despite everything they tried. Your enemies thought they were untouchable. They were wrong. And you actually are untouchable, not because you're perfect, but because you're protected. And that protection is about to be proven in a way that leaves no room for doubt. Watch what happens. Remember this moment and let it strengthen your faith for every battle ahead. Because if God fought for you this time, He'll fight for you every time. You're covered, you're chosen, you're unstoppable. And your enemies are about to learn that the very hard way. Now let me give you the prophetic timeline, because knowing when gives you something to anchor your faith to. Knowing when helps you stay patient. Knowing when helps you trust the process. Within 7 days from today, you're going to see the first crack, the first sign that things are shifting. It might be small, A comment someone makes, a situation that exposes a pattern, a conversation that reveals truth. But you'll know. You'll recognize it as the beginning of their unraveling. Within 14 days, the crack becomes a break. Something undeniable happens, something they can't explain away, something that makes people start questioning. Their story stops adding up. Their image starts slipping, their control starts loosening. And you'll see it happening, even though you're not involved in making it happen. Within 30 days, the exposure is public. People know the truth is out. Their reputation shifts, their influence diminishes, their power dissolves, and you'll watch it unfold. Knowing you didn't have to say a word, knowing you didn't have to defend yourself, knowing God handled it exactly the way He promised. Within 90 days, they're completely neutralized. They're no longer a factor in your life. They're no longer a threat to your peace. They're no longer able to impact your trajectory. And you'll look back at this moment, at this message, and remember that you were told it was coming. And you'll know without question that divine justice is real. And in that same 90-day window, watch what happens to you. Watch the doors that open. Watch the people who arrive. Watch the opportunities that manifest. Watch the peace that settles. Watch the confidence that builds. Watch the version of yourself that emerges. Because while they're falling, you're rising. And the contrast will be so stark that everyone will see it's not coincidence. It's divine order being restored. So mark today's date. Write it down. Document this moment. Because 90 days from now, you're going to look back and see that everything I told you came to pass. And that proof will strengthen your faith for every future battle. That proof will remind you that when God makes a promise, He keeps it. That proof will anchor you when the next storm comes. Because you'll remember that God fought for you before. And if He did it once, He'll do it again. Your enemies thought they were untouchable. But God is about to teach them that no one who comes against His chosen ones ever wins. No one who attacks His beloved ever prospers. No one who works in darkness against His light ever succeeds. They're about to learn that lesson publicly, painfully, permanently. And you're about to learn that being chosen means being protected. Being loved by God means being defended by God. Walking in purpose means being covered by power they can't penetrate. You're untouchable, not because you're special in your own strength, but because you belong to God. And that one truth changes everything. The ones who tried to bring you down are about to watch their plans collapse while you rise step by step, and the next 90 days will make it undeniable. So stay steady. Trust the timing. Guard your peace and get ready for restoration. Because what's coming is not late, not random, not accidental. It's arriving exactly on schedule, exactly as spoken, exactly the way God designed it. One last thing. When it starts happening, when you're lifted and they're exposed, people will look at you and wonder how you stayed so calm, how you stayed so focused, how you stayed so unshaken while pressure was coming at you from every side. And this is what you'll tell them. I let God handle the fight while I stayed locked in on purpose. I protected my peace while justice moved quietly behind the scenes. I trusted the process while heaven corrected what was out of order. I knew that anyone coming for me had to go through God first. And that is a battle no one wins. You tell them you didn't need revenge because restoration was already promised. You tell them you didn't have to defend yourself because vindication was already secured. You tell them your silence was never weakness. It was strategy. It was wisdom. It was faith. And then, watch what happens next. Your testimony becomes strength for someone else. Your story becomes courage for someone who's tired of fighting back. Your faith becomes permission for someone else to protect their peace instead of chasing payback. Watch how your victory turns into a blueprint for somebody else's breakthrough. That's the real meaning of this season. Not only your elevation, but your testimony. Not only your justice, but your witness. Not only your restoration, but your example. You're being positioned as living proof that God fights for His people, that divine justice is real, that protecting your peace is powerful. So walk in that certainty. Carry that confidence. Stand in that truth. They're going down. You're going up. And what's unfolding is about to become a testimony that changes lives, other people's lives, and yours most of all.